This is the Lockpicking Lawyer, and what I have for you today is a lock that Yale advertises as, quote, virtually pick-proof. It's the model HSS50 padlock with a 5-pin dimple core. And here is the packaging touting that impressive pick-proof status. Now, just because I call out Yale's delusional marketing doesn't mean that this is a bad lock. From what I can see thus far, it seems to be fairly competent. There is a 50mm stainless steel lock body with a high shackle guard, and that protects a 9.5mm stainless steel shackle. There's also a ball-bearing locking mechanism and a brass dimple core. So all in all, it seems like a fairly nice marine environment padlock. And by the way, if this lock is looking a little bit familiar, it's because it's made in the same Taiwanese factory as this kryptonite lock, which I previously featured in video number 558. In any case, today we're going to see if this dimple core is indeed pick-proof, and whatever happens, I will take it apart and show you what's inside. Now, looking at that dimple core, I think we can put a Z-bar right in the side there. Then I'm going to be using one of my Sparrow's black flag picks. Okay, nothing on 1. 2's binding, got to click there. 3 is binding, got to click out of him. Got to click out of 4. 5 is loose. Back to the beginning. 1 is binding. Got to click out of him, and we dropped into a false set. Nothing on 2, 3, 4. Okay, 5, getting some counter rotation there. We got him set, and the lock is open. So far from being pick-proof. Okay, let's get this guy apart and see what we have inside. This comes apart with a Phillips screw down the shackle hole, so let's start by removing that. Okay, there's the core, and it looks like we need a clip remover. Let's clean all the grease off of the back first. Okay, we got the clip off. Now let's get the key and a follower, and hopefully this will come apart. Okay, looks like a 6-pin core. Let's drop these key pins out. Number 1 is a serrated brass pin, so is 2, 3, 4, and 5. Let me arrange these, and then we'll get the driver pins out. Okay, number 1 is a steel standard pin, probably for drill resistance. 2 is a spool. So is 3. So is 4. And 5 definitely felt like a spool, and it is. Let's take a look at the springs. They are all the same copper springs, so no surprises there. Okay, let me give you a close-up of all of this. Okay, on those key pins, you can see they are all made out of brass and are serrated. Then for the driver pins, we have a standard steel pin in slot 1 for drill resistance, and then the rest are brass spools. Moving over to this core, you can see we have a 6-pin core, but only 5 chambers were pinned up. That is the keyway, nothing terribly difficult about it. And you can see that we have an actuator that, if this was on a standard pin tumbler lock, probably would not be bypassable. But since they put it on a dimple lock, we may actually be able to bypass this with the right tool. I may try that later. In any case, that's all I have for you today. Okay, folks, I couldn't leave you hanging on that bypass point, so I put the lock back together and took a few minutes to figure this out. You need to do 2 things. The first would be to push all of the pins out of the way so we make room for the bypass tool. That probably wouldn't be necessary if we had a custom tool, but I need to do it because I'm using my normal American lock bypass tool, which won't otherwise fit. However, once I stick that wiper insert in, that tool fits in relatively easily, and we can open this right up. So it's unfortunate that this vulnerability is present on what is otherwise a relatively nice lock. They use that horizontal actuator on the back of the core, which on a lock like this kryptonite would actually be a good feature. However, since it is parallel to the keyway in a Dimple lock, it actually opens up a new vulnerability. Okay, that's really it this time. Again, if you have any questions or comments, please put them below. If you like this video and would like to see more like it, please subscribe. And as always, have a nice day. Thank you.